Good morning, viewers. This is the Colonel speaking to you live from the Grange for British Imperial YouTube Broadcasting. And today we've got a rather unusual and interesting record. It's Columbia record number 9779, Robert Burns, A Man Amongst Men, spoken by the Prime Minister, the Right Honourable J. Ramsey MacDonald MP. Burns anniversary, January the 25th. Yes, Ramsey MacDonald, politician there, a member of the, if you'll pardon the expression, Your Majesty, thank you for the letter, Your Royal Highness as well. He was a member of the Labour Party. Yes, we don't often say that, viewers. Anyway, here we go.
The question is put year after year, when the blasts or January ones blow into our minds the name of Robert Burns. Why has this man won such an intimate and abiding place in the hearts of his fellow countrymen? The answer given, even by Burns' devotees, is not always so satisfactory as it might be. He was intensely human, and his genius, beating defiantly against the bars of his circumstance, has given his critics an opportunity to blame him, and his admirers a cause to shake at times an admonishing head at him. But the great gathering which accompanied his body to the grave in Dumfries that sad day in July 1796 instinctively knew that it was not merely bidding farewell to a townsman notable in his day, but was paying the first tribute to an immortal memory. Whether one reads his poems or his letters, whether one searches the records left of his conversations, or studies the impressions made by his personality on his contemporaries, one discovers a man cast in heroic mold and formed of the essential qualities of human attractiveness and greatness. This is the personality of Burns. And though he was fated to play in life only minor and heart-breaking parts, and was doomed to die an exciseman in a little abode crowded up in a narrow Dumfries street, time has moved him to the company of those rare beings who never die. He was a man amongst men. Force of being and distinction of mind gave him and his work immortality. He was not only for his generation. He was the embodiment of the individuality in weakness and in power, in tenderness and in strength of his people. And he was endowed with the genius to manifest them by an art at once robust and lyrical. His message was not a creed of the intellect, cold and unanswerable. It was a passion of the soul, eruptive and glowing, like the molten floods of a volcano. The moral protest of the twa dogs, rising up to the sublime devotion of the Cotter's Saturday night, is what is in the heart of every self-respecting poor man, expressed by one whose lips are the adequate servant of his feelings. When Burns wrote that it was beyond one's power to keep at times from being sour, when one saw how things were shared, there was no envy in his heart. The richly tender pictures of humble life and service, which glow in his poems, are painted to establish a claim that these lives are the foundations of a great state. From scenes like these, old Scotia's grandeur springs. The pathos sense and pride o' worth are higher ranks than all that. Here we have a deep and vital conviction regarding what are the qualities and the virtues of personal and national greatness. It is that quality of the folk mind and the folk service, appreciated and voiced by a man who himself is a piece of elemental greatness, which secures immortality for Burns.
Right, side 2, viewers. Here we go.
Burns revealed that quality in its essential contents. It is tender in its consideration and embraces everything from all neck himself to the mouse and the daisy. It is one with nature in all its moods. Nature is its companion in love and its consoler in death. I see her in the dewy flowers. I see her sweet and fair. I hear her in the tuneful birds. I hear her charm the air. There's no a bonny flower that springs by fountain, shore, or green. There's no a bonny bird that sings, but minds me, O my Jane. So also in that elegiac lyric on Captain Matthew Henderson, he enlists the glorious companionship of nature in his pageant of sorrow. Another of the essential possessions of human power and greatness is the heart of the lover. Burns was supreme in his capacity to love. His love song was the music of devotion to the divinity of beauty, with every chord of his being sounding in the swelling harmony. Terrible are the defects of a man if the melody of Burns' love songs is not sleeping in his heart. Sad with a world tenderness, happy with a world beauty, gay with a world devotion. His capacity to love was the inspired and inspiring inner core of his sense of brotherhood. He was a devoted son of Scotland, his all-respected mother, and he gave her, Scots wha hae wi Wallace bled, to renew her life through all time. When tremors regarding her safety disturbed her, he sprang to her defense. Does haughty Gaul invasion threat? But in Burns, the love of his own country was not measured by his hatred of, nor offense to, another. During the year when he wrote his challenge to Gaul, he also wrote the lines which have been more frequently quoted as the creed of peacemakers than any other. It's coming yet for all that man to man the warral hour shall brothers be for all that. His being sustained by the breath of independence, ardent in its devotion to liberty, contemptuous of men and nations who dared not lift up their heads, so in a world of the only condition under which the great patriot could live and be satisfied. The challenging songs he wrote in praise of liberty during the French Revolution rose to a musical and lyrical climax in dreams of peace. The last verse of the Tree of Liberty runs, "We plenty o' sick trees I trow, the world would love peace, man. The sword would help to make a plough, the din of war would cease, man." International harmony is the triumphant ending of the work of the national heroes who have struggled and the national causes which have inspired. Thus it is that as year after year passes, we do homage to one of the greatest of men. He spoke to us in song. He drew us to him by his lyrical genius, but he is more than a melodist. The chords which he touched and the emotions which touched them belong to the permanent joys and beauties and harmonies which are the sources of life and of progress. So, homage will be paid to him till all the seas run dry, my dear, and the rocks melt with the sun, or until the name of Scotland is lost, and the hearts of her children to beat.
Well, there you go, viewers. An historic recording there. Thank you, viewers, and goodbye.